Hello everyone and welcome back to Voxel Tales. My name is Dan and this is episode 10 of Modded Minecraft. Yeah, we're somehow already 10 episodes deep into this series. So much has happened already and we've come a long way, but it also feels kind of like we're just getting started. So at the end of the last episode I mentioned I was going to go tear up the village a bit and, well, the possibility exists that I might have gotten a little carried away. I mean, it's hard to ignore that this waystone shrine used to be sitting on the ground and now it's floating in midair. Much the same as the greenhouse. You may remember me mentioning that this end of the village was a lot higher up than the other end, and the more I tried to fix it, the more I realised that the only way I was going to do so was to lower it down. So now, wherever you look, you can at least see some other aspect of the village all the way back to the castle in the distance, and that'll make it a lot easier to lay everything out when the time comes. I've also established that the Waystone Shrine is roughly the middle of the village, so if we're going to put in a central point of interest, then this is where it's going to go. You may have noticed that some of the tools we just made last episode are looking a little bit worse for wear, and my armour is literally on its last legs. In fact, let's just swap out my chest plate so we at least have something on that's not going to break if I sneeze too hard. Now, the issue we have is that during my landscaping rampage I've used up the entire remaining diamond supply to keep the tools in working order. How the heck did you get in here? Like, I literally just opened the only way in. You know what, never mind. Yeah, so as you can see if we look in the Richety's chest, we've got lots of other stuff, but 0 diamonds. So the plan is to try and fix that issue today. Luggage, come here a sec. Before I started recording, I went into the non-deep slate mine tunnels beneath the shed and gathered up some andesite because a lot of the parts we're making need andesite alloy. So let's see how much we can make with what we have on hand. $59. Oh, actually, hang on. $61. So as usual, I've designed what we're building and made a list of all the stuff we'll need to make it. But I figured today we'd use the book and quill we found in the castle and transcribe the list into the game so I can check it off as we go. BRB. And there we go. The list. You can pause if you want to read it, but I'll be referencing back to it as we go, so there's no real need. I guess let's start gathering what we need. Starting with the copper stuff. I thought I had quite a bit of pre-smelted copper ingots, but when you start turning them into blocks, 2.5 stacks really don't go all that far. The blocks I could make were just enough to satisfy the 15 full block portion of the build, but not even close to the amount we'd need to make the stairs. So I set aside 15 blocks and dumped all the copper ore I had into the smeltery. Right, while that's smelting, the next thing we need is 24 andesite casings. So, how many logs do I have? Answer, bugger all. So I better go grow some trees. Luggage, do you remember what I did with the hoppers? Nope, never mind, found them. And chests... Oh, there they are. Composter... During the landscaping, I had to take down my little bone meal contraption and had to rebuild it. While I was rummaging around for stuff to put in the bone mealer... Oh, we've got bone meal right here.
Why didn't you see that earlier?
Because my eyes are painted on. Well, this is a fine pickle you've gotten yourself into, Dum-Dum. Right, how many do I need? 48 at least? Placey, placey. Strippy, strippy. Casey, Casey. Breaky, breaky. Please, strippy, case, breaks. Yes, I am a cringe monster. Deal with it. Luggage, how many of those did you eat? Ha! 18. In other news, Dan guesstimates perfect amount. Film at 11. Excited by how well everything was going, I rushed to a crafting table to make the drills for the project and discovered I was a few andesite alloys short of what we needed. Bugger. I also only had 5 pieces of raw zinc and 1 zinc nugget left, meaning I couldn't just immediately make the rest. Double bugger. Suppose I better get some more zinc. To the grind, cavern! Are you zinc? You are zinc. Fantastic. Luckily, the grind cavern and our Fortune 3 pickaxe came in with the clutch save to keep this build from derailing, and while the fresh zinc ore smelted, I made some more copper blocks. Right, more nuggets, more alloy, and now we have enough drills. So let's cross those off the list, and the andesite casings, and next let's make the 12 mechanical belts. They need 6 dried kelp each. See, I knew I made all that dried kelp for a reason. Circling back to the mantra, be smart.
Oh, lucky.
Oh, lucky, yeah. 32 belts, just like that. Cross it off the list. And a stack and a half of copper stairs. Cross them off the list. Oh, and the copper blocks, we have those too. Off the list. Deep slate tile stairs. Get them off the list. 6 glass. Get them in the smelter. Get them off the list. Right, what do we need for barrels? Planks and slabs. I can do that. Slabs. Barrels. Planks. More barrels. Get them off the list. 4 deep slate tile blocks. Off the list. Right, deployers, get them off the oh, actually these might take some work. I need electron tubes and brass hands, which are andesite alloy and brass sheets. What's brass again? Oh yeah, zinc and copper mixed over a blaze burner. But do I have any brass already? I do, thanks past me. No problem, me. Why is past me a ghost? Not sure, just seemed appropriate. Because my math skills are rubbish, I convinced myself that I needed 20 sheets of brass to make the deployers, and not the 16 I actually needed. So recombined all the zinc nuggets I had into ingots, grabbed the 4 copper ingots I had left over, and mixed them into 8 brass ingots. Added to the 15 I already had, gave me 23, which was more than enough. I then proceeded to crank out 20 brass sheets, again, because Dan no count good. Made more andesite alloy and crafted the brass hands. Electron tubes need polished rose quartz and iron sheets, so I grabbed the quartz, mixed it with redstone and sanded it down. Couple of iron sheets later and we had electron tubes and deployers. Get 'em off the list! Train doors, it turns out, were just regular doors combined with brass sheets, and I already had spare brass sheets, so I guess task failed successfully. A train seat was just wool and a wood slab, and while I didn't have any wool in storage, I do have a pen crammed with sheep outside. Very damp sheep, but sheep nonetheless. I think I'd like a black seat, actually, so... Better. Right, just need a cart assembler, a lever, and a mechanical plough. Oh wow, just a couple of logs, andesite alloy, and a bit of redstone. I honestly thought you'd be more complicated than that, cart assembler. Mechanical plough is just iron sheets, andesite alloy, and a casing. Again, thought there'd be more to you. Stamp, stamp, stamp. Done. And if I remember, I made a lever already. Yep, there it is. So that's the list done. A couple of bits that weren't on there are redstone blocks and cobbled deep slate. I'll explain why in a bit. I also need powered rails, which I have the option to make out of copper, so I will use that. Now, I've forgotten to make something important here. Can you spot what it is? Answers on a postcard to Dan is Dumb, Voxel Tales, YouTube, YT10VT. But seriously, pause the video and go make your predictions in the comments. Go on, I'll wait. And no, it's not glue, I remembered that. Did you do it? Right, let's go get started. Damn it, forgot my wrench. This isn't the thing I forgot to make, it's something much more fundamental. Hello, beans. Okay, it's very important that I set this to lock rotation. It was at this moment I realised that I didn't know exactly where in relation to the front of the machine the cart assembler went, so I ripped it out and decided to start at the front and work backwards. As I said, very important to set this to lock rotation. Right here we have to dig down and put a block the machine is likely to dig out often into these front deployers. So every time they see an air block below them, they'll fill it with the block. This one gets a powered rail. And this one gets a redstone block, so it will lay its own track and power it as it goes along. All 4 deployers get a filter applied, so they'll only deploy the blocks they're supposed to. I put the replenishment blocks in the first barrel I placed in order to make sure they come out properly. So, if you said, Dan, you forgot to make a minecart for your minecart contraption, then ding ding ding, you win. Oi, Whisper, whatever you're doing to that chest, knock it off. You heard. Right, where was I? Lever. So, from a technical standpoint, I could glue this contraption together and set it off. In fact, hang on. There we go, and we give it a little nudge, and off it goes. But it's a bit utilitarian for me, so full disclosure, everything beyond this point is for aesthetic reasons and adds nothing to the functionality of the build. There we go. Now it looks a bit like one of those mole tanks from Thunderbirds or those Technodrome transport modules from TMNT. Let me finish gluing it. Power on. And looks good. Give it another little bump. Haha, look at it go! Right, let's take it down to the grind cavern for its first proper test. Power on and... oh, off she goes. Yes, dig, mighty drill tank, dig. Onwards the drill tank ploughed, relentless, unyielding, and I followed behind, lighting up the tunnel left in its wake and collecting anything just outside its range. And looky what we have here. 12 diamonds. Thank you, looting 3. Oh, and a few more. Don't mind if I do. Okay, I think that's far enough for the first test. Let's collect the machine and take it back to the base. It's so cool that we can pick this whole thing up, including everything that it picked up, and just put it in our pocket. Okay, see you at the shed. Also, more diamonds. Alright, let's see how much we collected. Where's the cart assembler? Luggage, have you got the cart assembler? No. I checked the footage, and it turns out I took down the assembler after sending off the tank, and just didn't pick it up. Genius. Anyway, I made another one. Alrighty, let's try this again. We got rocks. Nothing. Stuff but no diamonds, and hey, 4 more diamonds. So our first tunneling session got us enough diamonds to replace all our armour, with enough left over to fix our axe. I'm going to call that a success. Now I just have to get this thing unloaded. Unloading the tank required a lot of back and forth and only further exposed how cramped and overloaded the basement was becoming. Not to mention that, even with my backpack, moving large amounts of resources was a slow and tedious process. What I needed was more inventory space, so I looked into upgrading the backpack. Diamond tier upgrade, combine with gold tier backpack in smithing table to apply. Iron tier upgrade, combine with regular backpack to apply, and make it by surrounding a blank upgrade with iron. And a blank upgrade is a chest, 2 of those backpack tank things, and 6 leather. And that makes 4 of them. Right, those tanks are glass and iron. That shouldn't be an issue. Leather, on the other hand, I have bugger all, as per always. Outside, I was quickly reminded that I'd dismantled the cow pen during my landscaping binge, and allowed the 2 cows I'd had in there to be free range for a while, expecting that they wouldn't wander that far. Where are they? A quick check of the map located the cows, so I made some leads and went to wrangle them. Then attached them to the sheep pen so I could go make some fencing. One pen later and I was ready to start breeding cows again for the umpteenth time this series. I'm going to have to build some kind of auto-cow breeder / abattoir. With nothing but time on my hands while breeding cows, I took the tunnel tank back into the grind cavern and set it off in the opposite direction, this time making sure to pick up the assembler. Whisper, for crying out loud, get away from the lava! Good job, cart contraptions are fireproof. I followed the tank for a while before collecting it again and then mined out a diamond it left behind. Got home, unloaded the tank, fed the cows, and made another tunnel. That night I decided to stay up late and hunt skeletons so I could tame the wolf that we found last time. Eventually gathering a whopping 3 bones. I'd been recording for a while, so I thought I'd grab something to eat and then try taming the wolf when I got back. Right, so, mistakes were made. 1 bone was all it took to tame the wolf, and I immediately went inside to get a name tag. I've got a resource pack called Better Dogs that lets you select a breed based on what you call the dog. My real-life dog is a mixed spaniel something called Gwen, so I turned the wolf into the closest match in the pack. The only issue being that I forgot to press record when I came back from food. So anyway, we have a Gwen now, and I'm sorry I didn't record it. She is cute though, much like the real one. Gwen, please don't walk on the sheep. While I was in the naming things mood, I went to the basement and officially christened this minecart contraption to the Drill Dozer. Then I used our much healthier diamond supply to repair our pickaxe, made a shiny new set of diamond gear, and headed for the zombie grinder to get experience to enchant it all. When all was said and done, I had a full set of Protection 3 enchanted armour to go with our decent tools, and was feeling pretty good about myself. This also means that we've replaced the helmet that gave us floaty goggles. I know some of you will be disappointed, but we really only need the goggles when we're building in Create, so yeah, they're gone for now. While I was unloading the dozer, I lost my temper with all the cobbled deep slate and decided to move storage of it to the grind cavern, at least temporarily until we come up with a more permanent storage solution. The zombies also dropped another tome, so I leveled up and put a point into strength. Still waiting on cows, I sent the drill dozer off into the tunnels under the base, hoping to get our hands on some easy zinc ore, and had a creeper go off in my face for my trouble. Correction, 2 creepers. I know somebody will be annoyed if I don't loot that chest, so hang on. There, hope it was worth it. We got a staggering 2 zinc ores from that little tunnel trip. Not exactly the haul I was after, but you win some, you lose some. Alright, let the harvest begin. That'll do. Okay, finally backpack upgrading time. So let's make the tanks. And a chest. Combine with leather to make those blank upgrade things. Right, iron upgrade. Blank surrounded by iron. Take off the backpack. And combine in smithing table. Nice, an extra 8 slots of capacity. Now I think you're supposed to do this incrementally, but forget that, we're going to go as far as we can. So, gold upgrade. Another 8 slots. And lastly, diamond upgrade. There's also a netherite upgrade, but we don't have any yet. But just look at all that space. Alright folks, mission accomplished, and that's going to be it for episode 10. I'd like to take a moment and thank everyone who's already subscribed, and say a massive thank you to those of you who watch regularly and interact with the channel. It really means the world. But as always, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the show, then consider subscribing or leaving us a cheeky like or a comment below. I've been Dan, this has been Voxel Tales, and until next time, be good. And if you can't be good, don't get caught. Bye guys.